Monchi's podcast.
Sick, man. Welcome to the podcast. How was your day? What you been doing? What you been up to right now?
Hi first. My day today was just a little bit mixing and getting ready for this podcast because I have never done this thing before, and I was just getting ready with my setup anyway, with the mic and using the smartphone for webcam.
Ah, cool.
So it was just kind of fresh because I did this on Thursday for a lesson.
Yeah,
And
you're giving lessons right now. Did you just
exactly.
start it with this, or do you do this already for some time?
Yeah, I had to delay my plans a bit because of modem and everything, and I had a lot of people already requesting, and so sorry to everyone again that I had you waiting for so long. Yeah, now I'm in the right headspace for this, and on Thursday I tried with someone over 2 or 3 hours, and it was kind of fun, and the setup worked, and I think he was happy, and
Sick. Sick.
and now I'm basically open for requests, and then like for one-on-one sessions, asking specific questions. Now with this Muse thing, it seems kind of nice to the screen sharing all in one, and yes,
it's made for it.
The mission now. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you I was a bit curious, like you given like do you have like specified topics you want to teach, or is it really super flexible?
At one point for sure, but this is so complex that it's easy to get lost in the thing and go on and on and on some specific details, and right now it's easier for me to answer specific questions. So maybe just for the start getting used to it, because I don't want to bore people with details they're maybe not ready for and at this stage in their process and something. So I feel the most confident when I can ask the specific questions, and then we make a list and look in the project on the client, and and actually it's like sometimes just things are happening, like with your podcast request, and last week, like a Shep Mute Production asked me for doing a masterclass on his Discord server. I think he's now getting some people together, like Desert, Dada, and the usual suspects, probably getting some collection of topics together, and then via Discord, and then sell it via Gumroad. And in this case, I probably will do like a masterclass specific topic, and then blah 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 blah, and then in the end answer some questions, I guess.
Yeah.
At least that's how I know these things. But also for this, I think he will ask his audience, and then we will see what kind of topic.
Sick. It sounds a bit like, to me, similar, like of course with the different roster of artists, but what's going on the Future Media Academy side.
Yeah, of course I've seen these things, and I don't have like a specific master plan what it will be in the end, what I will be offering, and in which context, if it will be like very specific courses or one big, I don't know. I have to find out for me myself what way I'm most confident on sharing, and that I don't feel pressured or something. Even with this podcast, I just find out with these things, and so I don't have like a set vision for this right now. I'm just trying out with one-to-one courses, and then let's see.
Sick. What would be the topic which would be like most easygoing for you? Like if we look at or whatever comes to your head, like sound design, mixing, mastering, arrangement.
I was thinking about this for the masterclass, because it's probably a thing that is intuitive for me, but these are also like weird meditative states that are not so easy to explain rationally what I'm doing there, because people want to know what we're doing, and then honestly I don't know either. I don't know. I'm just trying, and then I'm doing a lot of like trial and error, just trying things, and this not every time it works, and just counting then on inspiration that it's
hopefully something will work out.
Somehow that my mind will show me some options where I could take it further with the things you come up with, and that's somehow the most easy and intuitive for me, but also like I guess hard to explain or showcase.
Yeah, and hard to follow.
And more rationally it would be like probably bus structure, workflow.
Like sounds a bit like mixing stuff.
Like
bus
the
structure?
mixing,
what do you mean by bus structure?
I mean like how do you set up groups and how they are cascaded into each other. And I guess every engineer has I think it's also like it's the thing of an engineer to build like a system and refine it and make it yours, and build a complex system out of multiple parts and then make it work as a whole. And that's maybe sadly also more in our world classical old school engineer thinking, and EDM heads are often like isolated from this world and they don't watch old school. I watch many of these. I produce like a pro and old school YouTube things and trying to get around of their thinking, and some EDM people and friends of mine, they are really isolated in their world and they come up with crazy things, but they are not like thinking like old school engineers. And then they ask themselves, why does my music sound so self-made, so hobby room, like not like a proper record? And I have fun with like building mixing system and tuning it and making this work as a whole with different buses that go into each other. And I'm at one point I was really inspired by Buffer Metrix Clip to Zero, the YouTube series.
Watched it a little bit, but not.
I took away pretty much stuff from this, and with clipping, it's you have to organize and be aware from where you start to from where you want to go.
Yeah,
you have to be aware when do I do what at which state in the process that I can make most out of it and make each process the most transparent, because like clipping can be super transparent and then it's not. It's like there's a very
small degree.
Yeah, up to a degree you can go pretty hard with this, but then it's like instantly not usable anymore. Up to this point it's much more transparent, like time-based limiting and stuff that produces pumping and change the dynamics, and it's like a brutal process, and the point in time when you do it has to be consciously chosen, that you mix with different signals in the end, and then you have like multiple sub buses that are clipped and have like little flat top sections, but you mix them again, and then
new peaks
through
appear.
Like normal, through normal wave shaping, you know what it looks like when you mix waveforms together. Then you get different dynamics again, and the flat top sections are like demasked through summing together, and then
Clip that again.
Yeah, but do it right. Like not like the last step in your chain and then sending it to mastering. Then it would sound shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, stuff like this. I'm getting a bit nerdy, obsessed about this, and
Yeah.
and I think depending on your style, you can make a lot of space in your music to make it brutal and full and loud and in your face.
Yeah. So I guess also like really advanced or already experienced producers are still good clients for your courses. Also, I
hope so, but I also have a lot
I think at least to me, I'm not so super much into the technical stuff. Still, of course, it's necessary, but yeah, from all these words, sometimes my head is like they're swirling around me, and I lose track of what's it all about. And yeah, but I was wondering, for example, if I told you that my structure or my grouping is just a kick and bass group, a percussion group, and a lead sounds and a riser group. Would you recommend like doing more? For example, all my sounds like Atmos, leads, it's all in one group. Is this? I'm curious on your opinion on that.
With this stuff, always it's like multiple ways lead to Rome. Can you say this in English?
Yeah,
like you can obsess about this, but you can also like don't give a fuck. And there are so many examples of people like absolutely don't give a fuck about this, and they come up with insane quality because they just trust their ears more than overthinkers like me or maybe I don't know, other people. Like they're interested with what is possible technically, what can I do, but when you open up 20 plugins, you have lots of things to do wrong, and you can also like work just intuitively, make it sound good. And when you have a good room and good environment, then you can also don't give a fuck and come up with insane quality. It's not like you have to do this and this, but it's fun, and I love like fiddling around with plugins and seeing what's new, what can you do, getting behind of this. And so but you don't have to, and you can get as complex as you want. And there's clever stuff like track spacer, or you can do the same with SUS, like sidechaining signals in the FFT realm rather than just amplitude, like a normal compressor sidechain. Like
do you use this technique?
Yes.
And do you use it on single tracks, like single tracks sidechaining each other, or like more different groups sidechaining each other?
Both. Also, you can also put you can always like change the track spacer with SUS. SUS will always have more resolution, and then you can target the different areas rather than the whole, or just having the lone high-pass of track spacer. And you can also like put this on your reverb and delay tails if you have a send, and then pull out the frequencies in your delay tail that are coming drive in your lead bus, and then just the delay like works its way around. You can get super complex, and I have this like on subgroups. I have groups of different priority, and then I have groups that is like something that melts everything together, like swirly comp, virusy comp delay sounds, long delay tails. And this has always like this FFT demasking stuff, so it gets out of the way of the dry leads. And just for some time now, I changed my whole system from insert delays now to using just return channels and delay, because you have in a way more control about doing exactly this. You have the isolated wedge FX audio
the
source,
dry,
and then
the wet signal. Just
and then you can also put like I also cut away like the transient of the kick of every signal and groups, and you can do this again on your delay tail, so you can make sure nothing fucks with the kick and so and yeah, on groups you can do this to demask things to each other depending on how many layers you have going on.
Man, that sounds super interesting. I will definitely try this on my sense. That sounds super nice.
yeah, I like now having this because I have it anyway. Because in my songs, I want to often to keep it dry and then don't use delays, but it's just I just get maybe a little section where because you get this like hectic around the corner feeling about when you have delays. That's like this always pumping stuff, and I guess it's just my thing, so I give in. But when I have this anyway, it's nice to have it in a send, and then I also like now sidechain normal amplitude wise with the compressor sidechain the leads to themselves to the dry lead bus. So it's like always running the dry wet of the delay, and it always moves, and when no new dry leads come in, it pushes down the tail from the leads before, and then when there's space again, then it breathes out again, and then pull this up again with upward compression and saturating, then notching the kick notches in there, then FFT demasking, and then you can pull up the whole signal again, and then now it breathes and it gives a totally different vibe and sound to the track.
Sounds super sick, man, to be honest.
I will have this with like the next releases then, but not all of them. Some have just already the delay rendered in, and then I changed it now with the tracks that I did not freeze yet, and some will have a mixture of the system with the old one, but some will be just this. Changes all the time.
Also to me, like using sense in general was just
I didn't get it. I didn't get it what you can do.
Also to me it's like also to have like this coherency and for example reverbs in your tracks, like when like a year ago or 2 years ago I had like an extra reverb on every track. I wanted to have a reverb, so each time I was inserting the reverb, I choose like new settings. Sometimes if I wasn't too lazy, I copied like the same reverb on new channels, but so in the end I had like on my whatever how many tracks or like had their own reverb, and it took me extra time to every time put a new reverb on there, changing the default setting to what I desired. And now I have like 3 reverbs in my sense, a long one and 2 shorter ones, and it's just that. And then because also I think if you send a reverb or a delay, it's much cleaner, or it does not smear out the clarity of the dry signal. And now I just really, if I consciously want to smear out a signal or wash out the signal, then I'm gonna put a reverb straight into the chain, but otherwise I just use it in parallel with the sense, because in my opinion, my taste, it sounds cleaner that way.
Dan Worrell made a video about how plugins differently approach the dry wet mix at all. I forgot already what the main difference is, but there are different approaches, and then it works differently. Exactly, and compressors, it can be a problem when you want to do like New York compression, and the dry wet is not what you expect it to be. In Ableton, you can technically you can make a group, then put the delay on 100%, and then you can do the same on an insert way when you still don't want to use returns. But I was also thinking that after I did my album, I was thinking, what did cost me the most time? Many things were things Ableton just don't want to do, like being able to fade multiple clips and delete silence and stupid stuff. But also because I used to get obsessed about things, I took a lot of time freezing delay tails, fading them in, out, and making sure that also delay tails had space for the kick, little notches, and they're going out of the way from each other. And then I thought I have to find a solution where it works for itself. So and using sidechaining on the sense kind of does this, not exactly the same, but it kind of does it. There's a reverb or a delay tail or whatever from a sound gets pushed down when on the same source a new dry sound comes, and then you don't have overlapping delay tails that, like you said, wash out transients and the dry sound. And so and that's what I like having a system, improve it, thinking about what is not efficient and what can you do technically, and then sometimes just sit there staring and thinking about what can I do, how can I route things. And I love this stuff. So maybe it's also to the going question earlier, explaining this kind of stuff, engineer type workflow. This is what I could talk of endlessly. But I'm also just learning and
always.
I have a lot of this imposter syndrome also going on. Probably. And probably it would be worse when you didn't had this. So I guess it's a good sign in the end. But I have to get used to explaining and I had to have MoDem to see that these things work, because this was final proof also in the mastering level that I can offer a mastering because this works. When it works here, it will work everywhere. So I had to have this now before I can confidently sharing these things, having done this test, that the system didn't explode or something.
I think also this imposter syndrome is I don't want to put it in a too positive way, but it's necessary to, or at least if you feel super confident, and I think it's decreasing a little bit the urge or the need to get better. This imposter syndrome can get toxic, of course, but it's also a good push to yourself. And I think this is what is really essential to being an artist, to always have doubts about your process and the need to make it better or to perfectionize it in some way is super essential in my opinion. And
I think it just doesn't get you anywhere when you have this to think about it specifically, because it's just like a psychological side effect, and it would be problematic when it doesn't, when you didn't have this, I guess. And you had too much confidence, and then that's also not what we want.
Super shitty music and be fuck yeah.
And you don't want to be this person,
So, definitely. What also
you have to suffer and question it too much, and then you find a little window.
what I also thought about when you were talking about how to transfer the knowledge and if you get lost or whatever, because I work on, let's say, some kind of a course as well, and I thought to myself how to make it like, and I realized that if I would sit in front of my computer and making the stuff, and whilst I'm making it, explaining it, it brings me a lot of trouble, and I find myself in situations where I'd be like, oh fuck, now I don't know how to explain X, Y, Z properly, but actually, and this will distract me so much and make me feel insecure so much if I can't explain something right in the moment, or if it leads to nowhere and I'm doing like 20-minute stuff and afterwards be like, screw this, sorry guys. So I realized for myself that I think it's for me the best thing if I just record first myself how I'm doing stuff and just doing it really how I do it and don't think about to explain it and blah blah blah, and then afterwards doing like a commentary which I can edit, where I can cut out like this 20 minutes which lead to nowhere and then explaining my thought process while watching the video of me doing it, and so I have more time to explain certain effects or whatever, and still making the process really authentic and really show the people what I'm doing, why I'm doing it like that. Yeah, I think this is, at least it will work out for me way better than rather than explaining it whilst I'm doing it, because I can't explain why I'm doing it. It's like a contradiction to me. I'm not such a good teacher that I can do it the same time and explain it like really properly.
No, you're not used to it. You could learn property, but you don't have the like a routine to do it, and then the brain is confused.
Yeah.
Because when you're alone in the studio, you're always doing the same, and then these sequences are so deep in the brain, and then when you get irritated, sometimes it's fun. Because then accidents happen, but for teaching, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it makes me really insecure, because when I teach it, I feel like this. To be honest, also a personal weakness or just characteristic of myself, that I think always that people around me, or in this example, the people I'm gonna teach, are expecting me to like deliver properly and coherent, and that everything is in a good didactic structure which makes sense. But in reality, when I'm doing what I do, it's not like that at all. It's not straight. It's like checking out different paths and switching between those. And there are days where I just do shit.
But as a producer, you know this for yourself, that sometimes just fiddling around leads to nowhere, and you should know this from your own practice.
Yeah, of course I know it, but just in this new situation where I teach somebody, I
know,
it's hard for me. But maybe it's just a thing in my head, which of course the clients or whatever are also producers. They know it probably how it's working out when they are in the studio as well.
Yeah, for me, I think when I do this like on a one-to-one basis with someone, I'm funny you're drinking from this.
I'm too lazy to just have a small glass. So
no, feel free.
for the people who are listening, I have like a super 1 liter big mug of water here. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. Probably.
That's no problem at all.
Okay.
Because
this distracted me so much.
Because I also wanted you to ask about your MoDem experience, because I haven't been there in a while and actually just been once there. Like, what's your most remarkable?
In which year?
I was there. Oh, it's probably some years ago, like 5 or 6 years. Like there were, when I was there the last time, there weren't like in the swamp these faces holding by the hands. I never saw that. So it's already a long time ago. Yeah, so I was wondering how it is now and how it was for you, like what your experience there this year was.
Yeah, how it is now? It got better.
Mm-hmm.
The stairs are a lot nicer now.
Really?
And they extend more towards the showers.
Mm-hmm.
So you have more stairs, new stairs, and fun lighting. Yeah, the swamp is epic. I didn't spend too much time there. I just can't. The hype just it doesn't let me go. The swamp is super epic, but I just can't. I can't get hype. Is just
totally gotcha.
like a magnet. Yeah. It was hottest year I experienced. Production wise, just they tuned some fine details. Less people, like 2,000 people less.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like how many in total were there?
I don't know for sure right now, but someone told me that it's 2,000 people less this year. And of course, probably means some reconsidering of things for their team, I guess. But also, they seemed and we were as well, like pretty happy about this because it did well to the festival. Like, wasn't too crowded. You could dance everywhere.
Yeah.
The toilets and everything was a lot less work for the team.
Yeah.
So it was very different because just less people, but it felt so much nicer now because you could breathe a bit on the floor right now.
Nice.
And the years before, it was pretty like
crowded.
You had to go on the upper areas. You want to dance with a bit more space, and now you can dance probably everywhere.
Sick.
Pretty nice. They changed the system a lot. It's the same system.
The sound system.
Yeah. It's the same system. They removed one line of these smaller tops that have no reflex port on the bottom. They are like the smaller ones. Then they angled them more towards the crowd, and the subs were not in this tower arrangement, but like a wall.
Yeah.
And they had a new engineer team behind this, and this was such a change. It's the same system, but it sounded so much more balanced and even. And when you play there's someone with a tablet waiting for your signal, and then each artist gets tuned in. Wow. And they have a fun RC1 like big rec button that when you go over some point in the mixer, then you have this red button. When you go not quite this, but when you go over this for a longer time, then it cuts your monitors. So you're made aware. Too loud.
That's really
so they went pretty strict. But this works. I didn't went over it. I just had this glowing in 1 second, and it sounded so good. The system is huge, and the years before you could hear that they are adjusting, but going like in very different directions.
I can't hear you anymore.
Where did you lose me?
Somewhere after you were speaking about that, it once went red, like this thing was one time glowing, and after that,
okay.
the sound was cutting.
Yeah, I'm just raving about how this sounds now. It's a more important thing for me about this festival, the sound there, and now you could feel that I recognize, okay, there with this system we can do a lot more, make the experience better, and they did. And in the years before, you could hear pretty much difference from artist to artist, which is sometimes it's logical when you have like a super loud -5 loves artwork squashed to the maximum music going into very quiet electric noise, non-limited sound. Of course, it will sound quiet and tiny, and you have to adjust this. And now it was like very even, very steady, and
nice.
I'm super big fan of Tetractys now for some years, and I think they're really making the most out of this scenery of the system, and this year was just like mind-blowing, super mind-blowing. How they played with the system, it's just like, okay, we have this toy here, what can we do with this? What just overwhelms you to know.
I can remember that, like when I was there years ago, it was like really a certain area at the dance floor in the middle of the pit where I just couldn't stay there because it was just like fucking my ears so properly. It just was like almost a physical pain. And
you have to hear ear protection there, and then it sounds like it should be. I love the
what kind of ear protection?
Just cheap Alpine Music Safe Pro or something, but I will probably get some better ones in the future. But I love how the sound changes with this. It's just so more warmer because the bass stays the same and everything else lowers, and then it sounds like it should be. It's probably a bit quieter now, but it sounds more full and more balanced, and you can hear the tops much better, even when they have now one line less on the count of the tops, but the balance is so much better now. And with the subs in one wall, the phase coherency is now more tighter. I think it's some physical thing that you lose. I know that's like horn subs gets more phase coherent when you have more of them in a row. I don't know how this with the tower, maybe just this physical stuff doesn't work, so they went for the wall. And it's just it's so tight now. It's so like the time domain of the sound, like on so many points, even with this area being so different, you have the time domain is like intact. I hate this when you have like a kick comes too early, bass comes too early, or is delayed, and it just doesn't groove, doesn't roll. It's just so important that the timing is like how the producer has intended it. And they did really well on this. And like I said, with the Tetractys, this was such a fucking overwhelming experience. Like they get so minimal with their sound. They're going from so minimal playing.
Like, what can you repeat the name again?
Waveforms.
This tractor.
Tetractys.
Tetractys. Okay, this is an artist. Sorry,
it's two people. It's Nico Treant and it's Arcanum from Enigma.
Okay,
it's just fucking mind blowing. And I had this when you asked me for my experience in this context. I had this. It's so difficult to summarize because it's so many aspects. It's like all of aspects that are possible are in this experience that are important to me, like embedded in this one, have like an aspect to it. It's just you can't answer this simply because it's in so many ways. It's important. And I had, but trying to summarize this, I had a nice experience in a way that it was very meaningful for me becoming part of MoDem being behind the Stargate and being a part of this mosaic of arts and being in there, which is like a good, healthy confidence boost because I wanted to be a part of this because I love it.
Yeah.
And this felt very healthy. And then the day after, I had this Tetractis experience. This just overwhelmed me, and I felt so tiny again because just these dudes pulling things that's like insane, absolutely insane. That I feel like, okay, what I'm doing there is just like doing my little fun sequence, but these guys are just like, they have a vision and they manifest this, and it feels so huge, and it's so nicely constructed for this exact moment, for this scenery, and it fits. It's like you can't describe this. It's like made for this moment, for this scenery. It's complete. And then I felt really tiny again, and I had this change of perspective from behind the Stargate, blasting my music, having this experience, and then next day being in front of the Stargate again, as somewhere in the back as a visitor again, and having instantly someone to look up to again in this way, when you can say it like this, like absorbing new inspiration and going, okay, next cycle, up back to the studio. I can do a lot more probably. So, and this was like probably a unique experience. Like I can't, probably most of people who play at MoDem know this, but in general, it's probably like psychologically very unique experience.
Yeah.
And I tried to make the most out of this, that it's most healthy for me, that it's that I allow myself for a little confidence boost, because it was my goal and I achieved it, and I should allow myself to embed this in a healthy way.
Yeah.
But like, don't, like in German you would say, like nicht drauf ausruhen, like don't get lazy, like don't okay, you have more than no, nah, it's just the beginning, you know, it's just the beginning of a cycle, because I see MoDem like a cycle that cycles each year, and they play music there, at some point it started, now they play music there, people like us go there, they absorb this inspiration, embed this into their vision,
bring it into music. The next cycle.
They bring their music to MoDem, inspire the next people, and then it's like a history that writes itself.
It's like recursive
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a feedback loop, and it's so crazy, and happens like on this continuous 1 year cycle. Though, what will the next collection will be? It's like a catwalk of psytrance. Like, bam, this is the new. Okay, this is a new level, and this is like. What you hear is like the absorbed inspiration the people heard last year. Oh, my camera glitched, right?
Yeah.
At some point, the app. I have to restart it. It's back again, right?
Yeah. Talking about
everything went really well.
Man, I also love this when coming back from festivals is usually the time where I'm like the most creative, because there's most of the time I need some days to get used to sitting in front of the computer again, but like this year after Hein in Mai, I had like this crazy experience where I just dropped back from the festival into the studio and wrote the track, and it felt like I'm just a tool of whatever higher instance which want me to write this track. It was, I just couldn't, I had this really for a long time not experience. I was sitting in front of my computer and I was fucking hungry, but I couldn't get something to eat because this track wanted to be written.
I know this.
It was
really well.
It was, I don't experience it that much anymore, but after Heinemai was just in a rush. Usually I also need to for a track I need like 3 weeks. Sometimes it gets faster, but most of the times it's 3 weeks or a bit more. But after Heinemai it just was one rush, 2 days, 3 days. I don't know what happened there. Didn't feel like the usual Monchi in front of the AW. It was really a different experience there.
Yeah. Then you're just like how do you say in a Geburtshelfer in English? Like you're just like you're helping something getting born.
Yeah.
It feels for me often like this is like its own thing, and I'm just bringing it to life. But it's not necessarily. I can't prove that it's really originated here, or that I maybe rather just received this from wherever and manifested it because it wanted to be. And you're, like you said, you're just a tool. Like, okay, I'm using you to manifest myself. And you can go like super meta and far with this stuff and consciousness, theoretical consciousness stuff, quantum stuff. Like where originates stuff.
It's so it's to me it's so crazy. Like also if I just imagine it, my experience, what I receive from reality makes me writing somehow some piece of music, and then just this thought is always so magical to me, like from my brain into the speakers, into the other brains, and this just because something goes in my brain.
Going through so many mediums, through air and air pressure and
I
have this
yeah,
thought
in the end
well.
it's just air moving. In the end it's just air moving. What the fuck? Yeah, man, it's definitely damn magical. Sometimes I feel that it's magical. Sometimes I'm not so much aware of it, but yeah, I really love when this stuff is happening. So I also really looking forward to go to MoDem next year. I need to save up some money, blah 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 blah. But I feel it's time to go to this place again.
Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah, definitely. Man, also, I was a little bit curious about if you are willing to tell me a bit about your last year's tarmac experience, because we we had the time to speak so much about it. But
I spoke with many people about this experience. Like, I have to tell you something, and I showed them that like a photo from the SpongeBob stage and the Tanzstelle.
Yeah,
it's like probably one of the weirdest festival experiences ever, but we're in a good way. But it was so fun. Like in the outside world, when I go shopping, I feel like the weirdo, and everyone is like watching. Oh, what's that fuck kind of dude? But on tarmac, like I was the weirdo. This was so fun. Like such a interesting fan base there, and I felt like an alien.
Yeah, man, the SpongeBob actually.
SpongeBob stage, super fun. And Tanzstelle is also like Tanzstelle.
Yeah, actually, the SpongeBob. I don't know if you. I'm not sure if you witnessed that, but on Sunday afternoon, the crowd was like crazy, and they Yeah, they put out a ladder in front of the stage, and they had some graffiti cans, and they started to spray like big black eye pupils to the SpongeBob, and like the rest was red, and like whilst there was music playing, like people going crazy, then like the nose fell more and more down or got more and more loose, and so there was a point where the
Ja, gut.
nose fell off. So SpongeBob had no nose anymore, and some people were stealing the nose. So, and just after the music stopped at the stage in the evening, I saw like 6 people running around, and
With
they
the
were carrying the nose, and somebody was like, yeah, obviously they stole it, and somebody was like, "Hey man, this is SpongeBob's nose," and the people just were like a little bit pissed off and angry. Yeah, man, why don't you help us? So fucking crazy. Yeah, and this
yeah,
year
it's its own
was
world, huh?
its own world. Yeah, it's like I have the feeling like if I needed to describe this festival with one word, it's like anti-style. It's like a bit punk, a bit also a lot of art students are there, but yeah, it has like this super
I
anti-style
like
vibe to
the
it.
I like the concept that like every floor is managed by another group, and also
Hmm.
it has a different concept. That's
Yeah,
like kind of
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like this.
definitely.
And also, the SpongeBob stage had like a proper delay system, right?
Yeah, they are
This
really. They had like a proper sound guys there, which are also taking care of most stages on the festival. It's like the same crew, but on our floor we wanted the Lambda Lab, so
yeah, it was like
we.
lambda for this floor, function for the other floor, delay for
Yeah,
this floor.
yeah,
This is with this you can catch me. When now you play on every floor, you play psytrance and forest and
yeah,
rather than hip hop. And then I would love to have something like this because
yeah.
I'm getting this is some like probably like a first world problem, but I am
Hmm.
getting a bit bored by lambda, to be honest.
Hmm.
It's like it's too good already. It's like clean,
Yeah, yeah.
and everything is like roaring for modem getting lambda system, and
Hmm.
for a few years ago I maybe would agree, but now really now that they
Hmm.
really showed what the system can actually do, and you know what you're
Yeah,
doing. No, I'm happy to go there and experience a big function one system, because
yeah,
in most other circumstances on a stage it's probably now a lambda.
yeah,
And I like to hear different system, different colors. So
yeah.
I'm getting a bit first word probably bored by this.
Yeah.
And also
Also,
like a friend told me, like the system is now on the market to rent it for a few years, but,
hmm,
and it's expensive as hell. So probably it's about to be time that the woofers, that the drivers should be changed, but it's
hmm.
super expensive. So there is probably some room where this system are really now should be how do you call it, like recoined or something, like putting new drivers in.
Hmm. Like
And
restored or repaired or
yeah, because like
like
the material and there's so
yeah,
much pressure, at some point they will not deliver at same at the first day. So there will
yeah,
be some point in time where these things get a bit noodled out,
yeah,
and you don't really know when it's time. So, but that's also first world probably.
yeah.
But yeah, I would love to have experience in a festival with different sound systems. I always watch over on the fence to these like raga tech culture, sound system
Hmm.
culture
Yeah,
communities, or
yeah.
other these Italian tech guys, and
Man, I was
how
once
they're
in
obsessed with sound
Spain.
systems.
Yeah,
I want this in Psy as well, and often on parties it's just like two subs, two
yeah,
tops,
yeah. Man, I was
and
once at a rave near Granada in Spain, and it was a shitty sound quality, and the floors were all really close together. But how they built up the sound system. Was like, yeah, can everybody bring their home speakers, please? And so we built like a big wall and noodled them all together. It was like, yeah, all kinds of speakers in one wall. It just was looking funny. Maybe the sound was also good, but I don't know. At this time, I wasn't so much into checking out the quality, or I didn't.
But the point is
care
that you're
so.
interested in it. You don't hide it in front of like backdrops and texture fabrics. And sometimes I guess like I want to have spots and lights on the sound system because it's the most important thing, and I want to like have like an altar, and I want to like
the system,
the holy system, you know. I just don't feel comfortable when it's like hide behind deco and
I totally get your point here. I also had like really the opposite Function One experience. Like we have venue in my city where I also host like a listening session for producers, just to give them like an impression or feeling how their music is translating on a club sound system. But now, while doing this now for some months, I just realized it's a Function One sound system, but man, the sound is so fucking bullshit. It's crazy. It's really a sacrilege. I don't know how to. It's not a Function One. It's really the opposite of what Function One is standing for, because in the beginning I was really insecure and like, fuck man, my music is sounding at home good, but not here. It's my room, blah blah blah. It's not good, and I really took too much into account how it's sounding there in the venue. But then I just realized the venue is shit. For example, once Delirium Tremens was playing in that venue, and it was disappointing. But not because of his music. Sure. I know his music. It's fucking crazy. But so since that,
acoustic and dimensions and geometries, everything.
Yeah, and it's so sad because I think the owner of the venue, he just don't cares about it, and so I'm not sure if I should continue making these listening sessions when it's just a shit sound in there, but I also think it's probably more about getting producers together and get in touch and talk about techniques, whatever problems, and also to have like different producers of different genres. It's also a really interesting experience sometimes what kind of music other people make, especially if it's like not psytrance. I'm always really curious, and to me it's really interesting what kind of decisions people make when they sit in front of their computer making music. Like when I hear like really weird music, I'd be like, okay, at one point in time there was somebody sitting somewhere in front of their computer and be like, oh yeah man, and that's the right decision. I that's how it should sound. Yes, I don't want it different. And like for example, like up-tempo music. You know, probably it's like almost noise music. Yeah. Like
I don't understand it either.
I also didn't understand it until this year, Tama. Man, it can be crazy. It can be really, really crazy.
I just find this not really acoustically. Something can be acoustically or sonically beautiful without saying anything about it musically.
Yeah.
You don't have to like a certain genre, but some genres just sound very pleasant to the ear. And with this, it's just like I don't get like this mix of frequencies. It's just sorry, I can't encode this. It's error. But maybe it should. Probably it's just this is the way it should be. It should just cause error. Probably.
On the thing is,
that's okay.
on a big sound system.
But you have no bass. You have like bing, 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 bing. No power.
On a big sound system, you have a bass. I was on this former SpongeBob floor, and I stood there for the first time, and I was like, I get it now. Okay. It's just like.
Sometimes you need this. I had this with techno in Berlin. Sometimes you have to experience this. And it also feels nice when you're so used to your genre you work in, and you are so involved in it that you don't feel fresh in music anymore, and you don't. It's always so like routine. And when they booked me for Reflex in Berlin, it was a super fun experience because it was like mainly techno in the basement of Alte Münze, and just like Berlin techno, and this was so fun, and I felt like so new in this community and genre, and this was like super fresh, nice experience.
For example, like these rumble kicks, like
the rumble kicks,
of course, put a reverb on your fucking kick. Okay.
But it's then the room as well that finished this concept. Rumble kick in the studio, of course, it sounds shitty, but rumble kick in a rumbly room, it's there's something. I can see this.
Also, this is like to me the most funny and weirdest genre I was ever listening to this point. It's called Lento Violento. It's like imagine hardstyle music and then imagine it pitched down to 80 BPM. It's
like they do it with 80s like vaporwave.
Like really, like they do it to but with hardstyle. Like and a friend of mine, it's like it's already a dead genre. It had a really small producer base, and they were being active.
There was 1 week where it was cool, but then
something like this. They probably
we had a week of down pitching hardstyle, but then
but they extra produced it, so they weren't pitching it down. So they made like extra really slow hardstyle music. And
chill hardstyle.
It's so brain rot music, and probably I don't know if you, probably you know the Gigi D'Agostino guy.
For some people, they have to do what is forbidden, basically.
Yeah,
you have to
and
make
Gigi D'Agostino, this guy, he's actually one of the founders of this brain rot genre. And when I listened the first time to this music, it was also on Tarmac last year, and I was laying on the floor and shaking by laughing. It really melted my brain. I was like, with each new element coming into the music, I was like, what the fuck? Somebody was sitting there and was like, and now this, and then comes like a super weird like duck type of lead, which just is like, and then this hardstyle kick. It's amazing. It's amazing, to be honest. I really love to experience how different people express themselves in music, and how different it can be. It's super nice. Well, hey man, I think also we probably already hit 1 hour, so I would try to wrap up this thing. And just want to ask you if there is something you want to plug or let the people know where to check out your stuff or how to get in touch for courses or...
Yeah, I'm most active on Instagram probably right now. Yeah, I will make like another like official announcement for lessons that I know I have still like 1-2 people waiting that I requested a while ago. I will come to back them first, of course, but then I will request for lessons, and then we'll do it 101, and I will write down questions, and we will make something individual. Like this is how I feel confident at first, and yeah, this you can just request via Instagram, and yeah, I will probably release another album this year. The things that didn't make it to the previous one. And the 3 new tracks I made for MoDem, and then right now I'm making another one, super C#, super dark psy track. This will be probably then the title track for this one.
And C#, what the fuck?
C#. And I want to do this release like this year and master it again, and yeah, I can also do some mastering now. Yeah, I have to sort myself a little bit more, what in which order and everything. But like, yeah, after I modem, it was a test for basically all of these things, like offering teaching and doing mastering and just offering the services that I feel confident in.
Yeah,
help some people out. Yeah, other than that, probably something that I just can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will probably do another Vital preset pack. And I don't have, that's a little bit too, it's shitty that I don't have demos for it. I need to learn making demos so people know what we get. But now that I have the opportunity, like the last ones were like, where I created wavetables for it, and they're super bubbly, wobbly, crystally, blingy, bleepy, virusy in this direction. And now I wasn't, to be honest, inspired so much with Shep's workflow, mute production, how he uses LFOs for modulator sources.
Yeah.
And this experience, this inspired me, to be honest, so much that it also transferred it into my UREC way of thinking, like what to do with the modulator to make the FM really scream and where the noise areas are, and pitching, the relation to them. This preset pack will be a much more foresty, basically just simple waveforms, just source sines, but the weirdness is in the routing with the LFOs, the macros, and the way the FM is mapped, and it will be much more in a forest style, much more raw, basic waveforms, but more complexity in the FM, because also using this like super complex, detailed wavetables, they sound so interesting, but when you have a mix that is also, I realized when you have a music that just consists of these complex waves, they have no power, like they are no fundamental. It's really hard to get some mid-energy focus power in there, and it's hard to make them acoustically work. So I went away from this a bit, like automatically, and mix them together. And this could probably I could mention as well.
Yeah, sounds pretty.
Maybe also end this year. Let's see. Maybe this time frame.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, then I would just cut the thing right here. Hey, Thanks for listening to Monchi's podcast. If you really enjoyed this episode, please consider to rate, review, or comment on whatever podcast platform you're listening to it. This really helps the show to grow so more like-minded producers can enjoy it as well. If you furthermore want to support the show financially, head over to patreon.com/Monchi_SquareLab and choose one of the tiers there, starting at $3 per month. I will also put the link in the description. As a benefit, you will get early access to upcoming podcast episodes. That's pretty much it. So, thanks again for listening and see you next time. Bye.